Retro Rob plays everything.
Hey there, real gamers! Retro Rob here, and today we're gonna look at nothing! Yes, nothing! Wait a minute, we got something! Yes, it's the Moko Joy-Pad controller for the Nintendo Switch. And they sent me this to do an unboxing and impressions on. And I said, hey, you guys got a lot of good reviews on Amazon. Why you need me to do it? And they said, Rob, we need a real gamer. Yeah, a real gamer to cover it. Not these fake gamers. So I said, all right, open the gate. Let me in. Anyway, here we have the front of the box. Some things to note. It has a vibration function. It has an ergonomic design. Does it say ergonomic? You know what? The prints are really small. Anyway, separated D-pad, like the original one, and it comes with the combiner, which is nice. The right side of the box is simple and attractive, like me. The left side of the box has a silly sticker on it, also like me. Here is the back of the box. Alternative controller with grip for Switch. The Comfort Grip brings the left and right Joy-Con controllers together to make one comfortable controller, so you can play as long as you like. Ergonomic, lightweight grips, I reversed those, I realize that, will keep your palms happy and your fingers from cramping at home or on the go. Simply slide each Joy-Con controller down the rails until they click. Don't throw it away, we've got some playing to do. Time to unbox the beast. Has this little tab on it. I was really hoping that that sticker was gonna rip off really easily, but it didn't. All right. It's a box within a box. I approve of this kind of packaging, by the way, especially when stuff's coming in from China. Actually, I think these ship locally from Amazon, but not 100% sure. But anyway, I approve of box within a box. Tends to keep things safe. Should I go through the extra? I'll go through the extras first. Okay, first thing we got here is a USB-C charge cable. As I've mentioned on my little handheld videos, these cables have been getting much better when coming from China, and this one's no exception. And what do we got here? Got about 4 feet. Next, it looks like we got little Joy-Con covers, maybe? We'll take a look at what these do in a little bit. There's also a manual. Hey, it's in English as well. And a little bit about connecting right there, just in case you lose yours. They look pretty big. And then there's pairing, how to detach. Looks very similar to the real thing. All right. And now let's open it up. Looks like these charge individually, and it looks like they sync. Yeah, I bet you these these Joy-Cons come up and you can replace them. I might do that. And unfortunately you can't see it. Wait, here, you see this? It's easy when you can see it, so do it in light. There we go, and there we go, it's on. I'll try the different color ones. Okay, first thing I'm gonna note is it feels kind of light. The plastics feel pretty good. I like the way they feel in my hand. Again, yeah, it's light. The buttons are okay. They feel pretty OEM. The sticks themselves are rubberized. They have decent give on them. Not too bad. Here's the bottom of it. It's where they charge up. I wonder if they charge on rail or not. And then we'll test that. There's the sides. Look at the top, there's the triggers. There's the rails. And some little buttons. Oh yeah, that's if you're holding it like this, right? If you're using it in this mode. Oh. Is that how you hold these? Or do you hold them the other way? No, you hold them this way. Actually, that feels pretty good because your fingers just kind of sit on top of the edge here. Alright, well I'm going to go test these out and come up with some other thoughts on this. Be right back.
Thumbs up, comment and subscribe or I will go Skynet on your butt.
Alright, so I'm back and it's been a couple days and this has been working out pretty darn well, I have to say. The first thing you're definitely going to notice is that these are lighter than the original Joy-Cons. There's no getting around it. They're clearly made out of lighter stuff, except when you're using the analog sticks and the buttons, they feel pretty much the same. They feel decent. They don't feel like there's going to be any breakage. Notice that I switched my caps for the colored caps. They do feel really good, and I'll show you in Crimson Land how the turning radius is very exact, just like the real, I shouldn't say real, the original Joy-Cons are. Also, they functionally work just the same. There's a little release button on the back here, and if I press it, I will unlock it. There we go. And then drop back down, and it locks just like the original ones. Turning around to the back, you see how it hangs over? That's because they're so much bigger. The big advantage, of course, is that you don't need the kickstand. It'll just stand up, and that's a planned feature. The other thing you're going to notice is that the triggers are a little bit deeper, and that does actually seem to feel pretty nice on games. I mean, it really does feel fairly decent. Like I said, I wasn't really planning to swap out, but I think I'm probably going to end up doing that. At least I will for a while. If you detach them and it's a two-player game, it will indicate which player you are through this LED. And that works pretty darn well as well. Oh, I'm so glad I got to sneak in the word well multiple times. Alright, here we have Crimson Land, which is a dual stick shooter. Dual stick shooters are really the kind of thing that I play most on here, so I would notice control issues the most, and I'm going to say that it works really well. The thing I'm really looking at is, see this turning? See how smooth it is? That's one of the things I found with aftermarket controllers tends to go wrong and doesn't on this. This is exactly how this should control. And look at how much, look at that control. I mean, it works really quite well. And for whatever reason, a lot of knockoff controllers just don't do it. Correctly, anyway. There we go. Wiping them out. I think that the vibration function is a little bit stronger on these than they are on the original ones. I don't know if that's a function of the size of the body just relaying it, or whether they put some bigger motors in, but it definitely feels like there's a little bit more kick to it. There we go. You need to die, giant spiders. Get away. Get away! By the way, if you've never played this game, you absolutely should if you're a dual stick shooter fan. This is considered one of the this is considered one of the games you have to play if you're into dual stick shooters. This is like one of the classics, and it's amazing. It's by Tencent Software, and it's just incredible. I think it's their first dual stick shooter, as I recall. Oh, and it's hard. Just so hard. Anyway, controller works pretty darn well for this. In fact, like I said, I kind of like it better than the original controllers for dual stick shooters. Here's the last Penelope, which is an unusual kind of racer. I always meant to do a gameplay video on this, so now you get a little bit of one. Again, in some ways, this controller works better than the original Joy-Cons that I have. I don't know if I've got the early versions of the Joy-Cons. I know had a couple problems with them, so that might be why this feels a bit better. I'm going to tell you that it's definitely lighter. You're definitely going to notice that it's lighter, especially when you're using it with its centerpiece. But again, the controls are really quite dead on. Not even quite dead on, they're absolutely dead on. Alright, quick note on charging. According to Moko, this will get 10 hours on a charge. I've been getting about 8.5. I use vibration heavy games though, because I just kind of like that. It's the way I play. Also note that it will charge while it is attached to your Switch, according to the manufacturer, but also you have the option of using these ports down here to charge them, and it will take 2 hours for these to reach full charge. Gives you a little blinking light when you're charging that way as well to let you know when it's charged. So that's pretty nice. How about some Doom 64 on the Nintendo Switch? By the way, I really recommend this game, especially if you haven't played Doom 64 before. If you're a Doom fan, the nice thing about this game is it's actually different from the other Doom games. In other words, it has different maps. And it's really a nice looking game, in my opinion. You know, if you've played the original. Oh, need a door. And really fun. Really had a blast with this game. And again, controls are working just fine. Ooh. There you go. There we go. Button. And go get myself killed. I really like the lighting effects in this too. Just a nice game. Haha, sucker. Yeah, I knew you were there. When I did my video on this for the PC, I must have gone through this level like a dozen times. Come on, you. So yeah, absolutely works fine. Alright, I wanted to show you the dimensions of this versus the originals. Here you can see the LEDs on the front, and the LEDs, they're not lit up right now, but the LEDs are on the side here on this one. So they're in different spots, but as you can see, the buttons are all there. They're just in slightly different places. I think I mentioned it before that when you hold these, they set a place for your finger right here, and that actually feels pretty darn good, to be honest. And I wasn't expecting it to. I thought it would feel weird. It's one of my big concerns. Alright, anyway, on the side, there we go. On the side, you can see it's much thicker. Note that the plastics color is slightly uneven on there. You know, where the original ones, you can see it's made out of a thicker plastic, the original ones I'm talking about. And of course, they keep a more solid color. You don't see any unevenness. You can see that the triggers are not as wide, but a little bit deeper. See that on this? Which kind of gives it that more of a Xbox-ish type of feel. And then of course right here you've got the thickness again, and of course the back's just so much thicker on these than it is on this. But this is still notably a little heavier, which I'm going to say like a million times during this video probably. Here we go with some Horizon Chase on the Switch. Oh man, false start. Not good. Way to mess that up. Come on. Move it. Yeah, get out of my way. burning up the track like crazy. Going into a right turn and a left. I'm bucking for a esports announcement position. By the way, guys over at Lionheart, you know, if your regular guy's ever sick, I'm totally in to make very banal comments about the race, and unknowledgeable ones. Come on now. Come on. Smacking them, trading paint. That's the word. Trading paint. This guy's driving me nuts. Get out of here, dude. By the way, if you don't know what Lionheart Racing is, it's a virtual racing league. You can check them out. I'll put a link down below. And they both have like YouTube recorded races, and they have live streamed virtual racing, but often with real life race car drivers, which makes it pretty interesting. My fuel is low. Every time it flashes that, I crash. That happens to me constantly. Constantly. Really? Just dead into it. I'm also low on fuel, which is frightening. Don't tell me when I'm low on fuel. There we go, third place. I'll take it, I guess. Alright, so I'm about 15 feet from the game system right now, and as you can see, it's working just fine at that distance. Seems to play games okay as well. That was another one of my concerns, so seems to be just fine. In case you're wondering, this does support gyroscopic controls. I've only got a couple games that support that function, and unfortunately they don't support it very well. Like Doom expects you to be holding the machine when you're playing with the gyroscopic controls. So I did test it though by just kind of holding it up and turning it, and you could do it, but of course that's not the way you want to play Doom. But games that do have that function, it does support it. Here we have the Super Willu remake. This is the infamous snow level. Always gotta be a snow level on every platformer. There's like a law. There we go. This is a neat little indie game. One of the things I've really enjoyed about the Switch is the just multitude of this kind of game. I realize it's also one of its negatives because it's hard to find the good stuff, you know, amidst all the bad, but again, at least you got a choice. I guess it kind of is a bummer if you're buying a bunch of them and find out a lot of them are crap, but you can always look up reviews or watch a playthrough. I'm a big fan of watching people play games to get an idea of whether I'm gonna like it or not. I found that reviews often, well, they absolutely, just because they're a review, they have to cut some parts of the gameplay out, and generally speaking, when you're editing, you edit to you edit to your narrative, and you know, if your narrative is a game is good, well, you'll kind of edit towards that, you know what I mean? And it's one of the reasons why I generally just do gameplay versus any actual reviews. Anyway, it's working fine even though I'm playing awful. That said, we all know I have a very hard time playing and talking at the same time. Come on, you. Get over there. Yay! Small victory. Oh, I hate those ones. Don't walk off the ledge when the last one didn't. Here we go. There. Come on. Little evasion's okay. Do 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 do. You're all dying. Ah. All right, let's wrap things up with a little Riddled Corpses EX, which is a great little game. And these, of course, work just fine with it. So, all in all, the first thing I'm going to note is that I did find the construction to be a little bit on the light side. That said, there's going to be some compromises made because this is slightly less than $40 for the pair of these versus $70 for the original OEM. Now, despite the fairly light construction, I found that the controls themselves work great. I mean, they are really just dead on. I've had no issues with them whatsoever. They work great. It also does have gyroscopic controls if you're into that kind of thing. It will work with games that support that. The only thing it does not support is it will not support Amibos. So you can't slap a card in here. It doesn't do NFC. So that's a missing feature on there. But all in all, I think it's got pretty decent grip. The controls, again, work great. And for the price, I think this is a good budget option for people who maybe broke their original controllers and are looking for a budget solution, or if somebody just wants a little bit more grip and doesn't want to spend a whole bunch of money. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and there is a link to these down below. I'm not getting hit.